If you're watching this, odds are you're thinking to yourself, who the hell is this random YouTuber 111 and why hasn't he played one of my all-time favorite video games? And I'm here to tell you that there is not a simple singular answer to that. It is a multifaceted answer that spans multiple decades of my life and covers a handful of games which many will tell you are some of the best games of all time. So to understand why I have still not played an Elder Scrolls game to this day, we must first go back to the beginning of this story, like all stories before it, and understand the intricacies and key moments of my young life in which my path and the Elder Scrolls would cross and the happenstance that took place. My knowledge of the Elder Scrolls series began sometime around 2002 to 2003 with the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. I wasn't even aware of the prior games in the series until years later. Originally, I was introduced to video games through my oldest brother's SNES. My brother didn't live with us, so I only really got the game when I went over to his place. Long story short, I didn't have much access to video games through my own accord. This left me with nothing but a crappy laptop that was primarily used for schoolwork to do all my gaming on. One day, my brother came over to visit and he brought with him a surprise, the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind in all its glory. I was around 12 at the time and I was instantly enchanted the moment I saw the striking box art. I immediately booted up my computer and installed the game. I remember it taking forever to install and the amazing artwork being showcased as its files were being copied over to my hard drive. The game eventually loaded up and we managed to get through the opening character creator screens and made our way out into Cedar. I remember finding a ring in a barrel only to be met with impossible performance and single-digit frame rates. My computer lagged, playing almost anything, so it was surprising to see this grandiose RPG running at all. But nonetheless, it was every bit unplayable. The game was soon uninstalled and my brother took it back, promising to bring it over again when I had a computer that could run it. This day never came. I never met with Caius Cosades in Balmora. This is the furthest I have ever gotten in an Elder Scrolls game. So when I say I have never played one before, this is what I mean. Time went by, games came and went, but I held the Elder Scrolls in high regard despite how little time I had actually spent with it. It became my white whale of sorts. The opening track lay imprinted in the bowels of my mind forever. Over the next few years, I kinda took a break from video games for reasons outside of my control. Because of that, I ended up missing Oblivion entirely. But when the Elder Scrolls V arrived, it came in hard. Skyrim was super hyped like no RPG before it. Fans came in droves. But by this point, something had changed in the series. Even though I had never even truly played an entry in this legendary franchise at the time, it felt like something was off. At this point, the Elder Scrolls had made it mainstream. So whatever was different about it was surely better, right? In the vast expanse of media, there exists some truly genre-defining experiences, and video games are no exception. These are games that truly embody what this genre is all about. We have Mario with platformers, Halo with first-person shooters, and the Elder Scrolls for RPGs. Gaming has become more mainstream over the years in general, and yet many RPGs are a bit, shall we say, intimidating for the casual gamer. But it is this very Elder Scrolls that is to many hardcore gamers the definitive RPG experience that has also managed to capture the hearts of many casual gamers as well. This series, which promises a complete and utter escape to a fantasy world that so many find irresistible, that has garnered worldwide acclaim. How is this possible? Well, I was getting back into video games at the time and following media publications as well as forums online, and there were some notable changes to the Elder Scrolls formula since my short-lived romp into Cedar. A few of the most notable ones to me were that they got rid of the roll-to-hit mechanics, added a compass so you never get lost, and added enemy level scaling so you never really feel overpowered or underleveled. The D&D take a swing and see if you get lucky enough to hit never bothered me, but I love tabletop RPGs, and I understand how it didn't really jive in a video game for some, especially when you can physically see your character connect with the enemy. But the other two changes I mentioned, those just didn't sit right with me. One of the things I had loved about video games since I was a wee lad button mashing away on my brother's SNES was the ability to get lost, to go explore off the beaten path. This is why games like A Link to the Past and Super Metroid left such a big impact on me at such an early age, and why the exploration that Morrowind promised seemed like a dream come true. I want to get lost in games. I want to feel underpowered or overpowered respectively. When I was searching for games on PS3, I realized that so many games now like to handhold the player and really didn't want to respect the player's agency nor their intelligence.
Okay, so, now that we're here, is there anything on the desk that seems quite suspicious? Maybe a clue?
I remember even pondering, maybe it happened. Maybe I outgrew video games. It wasn't until not long after I had discovered Souls games and had my spark for gaming in general reignited that I realized it wasn't me who had changed, but it was the games. That made me feel like Skyrim might not really be for me. Plus, there was that notorious memory leak on the PS3 version of Skyrim that I thought was inexcusable. All of those reasons combined constituted to me skipping Skyrim altogether. More years passed, I got super hardcore into gaming again, and Skyrim persisted, being re-released countless times and resold at full price each and every time. I had a PC now, and where there's a mod, there's a way. With so many mods, Skyrim can basically be the RPG you want it to be, and I think that's why it's remained relevant as long as it has. I've installed it and modded it countless times, but for some reason, I have never actually invested the time to play it. Seriously, I think I've installed and modded 3 different versions of Skyrim on 3 different PCs half a dozen times over the course of the last 10 years. I'm very familiar with the opening wagon ride, but as soon as I confirm that the game loads fine and that escape sequence starts, I always put it away and save it for when the time is right. Now that I've finally explained my story and gotten my thoughts out in this video, maybe I can understand why I haven't started Skyrim or gone back to Morrowind, because honestly, I'm not even sure myself. I've just always felt like now wasn't the time. But when is the time? If I ever were to have the time to sit down and invest in a fantasy world, 2020 would have been the year. Sure enough, I installed Skyrim, this time in VR, and modded it up at the start of quarantine. And sure enough, there it sits, waiting to be played. Maybe I'm someone who likes to have things to look forward to. I don't know. All I know is that I'm a rare breed. Saying you've never played an Elder Scrolls game is like saying you've never seen Game of Thrones or Star Wars. Many people would love to experience the Elder Scrolls for the very first time again. It seems like a magical experience. Maybe I've romanticized that thought and my relationship with the series as the one that got away. Maybe I'm afraid I'll be disappointed with the series, and the thought of what could have been is more appealing than what can be. Whatever the case may be, an experience not participated in is a life unfulfilled. So I'm here to announce that I am going to take my first real foray into the Elder Scrolls series and play through them in their entirety. I was planning on starting with the one that started it all for me, the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and I was going to do so in the most immersive way possible, virtual reality. After I complete Morrowind, I was planning to jump into a modded out Skyrim in VR and experience whatever it has to offer. I was wondering if you guys think it's best to do Morrowind first though, or if I should do Skyrim first instead. The added jank in Morrowind will not put me off of the experience in any way. Also, if any of you have any suggestions to make these experiences as best as possible, let me know. I've looked at a lot of best of mod lists for Skyrim, so if anyone has any lesser known mods especially, that would be great. I'm looking for immersion adding mods that add to the RPG feel. The less hand-holding, the better. I will be documenting my time in the games with a journal-like entry series from the point of view of me role-playing as my character, as well as possibly a long play series showing the entire playthrough. Lastly, thank you guys for watching, and again, if there's anything else I need to know before I embark on this journey, I am all ears. I'll see you guys next time.